Hey boys and girls, it's Mrs. Walker. Today we're going to talk about how we can count equal groups and write a multiplication sentence to match. So remember the key thing that I just said was equal groups. So that's going to be a big focus that we're talking about today is how everything has to be in an equal group to be able to relate that to multiplication. Okay, so let's check out our learning goal. It says, I can use equal groups to describe multiplication and write a multiplication sentence. So all we're going to do is we're going to be looking at pictures of objects that have equal groups. And we're going to write, first we're going to start off with writing a repeated addition sentence that matches that. Then we're going to talk about how many groups there are and the total that are in each group. And then we're going to write a multiplication sentence that matches that picture. So all three of those steps are going to go together to help us to be able to write that multiplication sentence. So let's jump in and get started. So in this first problem, we're going to practice skip counting to find the total number of objects. So let's imagine that there were 10 students that walked up to the front of the classroom and they all held their arms up just like this. Okay, so as you can see, that's what it looks like in my picture that I have for you guys. So what we're going to do is, since each person represents 2 arms, we're going to skip count our people on the screen by 2s, and we're going to find out how many arms they all have together. So to keep track of our count, you're going to, maybe you might want to draw with your finger, or for me, I might just underline as we're going through here. Okay, so let's skip count by 2s. First, we're going to start at 2, and we're going to go 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so turn and whisper to your partner, what is the total that we counted to? Right on, friends. If you said 20, you got it. Okay, so now let's skip count one more time and see if we end up with the same number. Okay, so remember we're skip counting by 2s because each person has 2. There's 2 in each group. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Okay, so we got our 20 again. Now, if I wanted to write an addition sentence that matches this, remember, friends, addition sentence is just writing the same fact. So the repeated addition sentence would look just like this. So it would be 2 plus 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 2 equals 20, because each 2 inside this problem relates to one of our people that are standing up. Okay, so they go together as a pair. The next thing I want to think about is how many groups of 2 are there in this problem? So when I look at it, so I look and see this is one group of 2. Ta-da! There's one group of 2. Okay, here is another group of 2. Okay, so I had 1. That's my second group of 2. So I want you to count and tell me how many groups of 2 do we have. So I want to know how many 2s do we have in this problem. Remember, they're all equal because each person has 2 hands that they're holding up. So go ahead and try that and tell me, get ready to tell me how many groups of 2 are there in this problem. Okay, let's reveal. Ready? There are 10 2s in this problem. So if I want to go back and look again here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 2s in this problem. Now, if I wanted to take all of that awesomeness that we just did, so I have right here, I have my repeated addition sentence, and then I say how many groups of 2s are there. Now I can write, let's bring this over. Oh, here we go. So if I take all of that together, 10 groups of 2 is 20. Okay, friends, let's take a look at our next problem. Our next problem talks about understanding the relationship between repeated addition, counting groups in unit form, and multiplication sentences. So counting groups in unit form, that sounds kind of weird, right? Well, unit form is just making sure that you have the same number of items in each group. That's it, okay? So for this problem, you're gonna need your 12 counters. Make sure you count out 12 counters, and you're gonna use your counters to make equal groups of 2. So how many counters will you put in each group if you're trying to make equal groups of 2? Yeah, if you said 2, you got it. So what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to take your 12 counters now, and I would like for you to put them in as many equal groups of 2 as you can. Okay, go ahead and pause the video. Once you've made your equal groups, then you can unpause and we'll talk about how I might show an example of how I would make equal groups of 2. So go ahead and pause, make your groups of 2, and then click play when you're ready. Okay, so let's take a look at how I might set up my equal groups of 2. So I might try and make this a little bit neater for myself because I just had all those in just a mess, right? So that's one group. Now let's make a second group. 2. Keep going with 2s. Okay, so let's just say maybe that's how I made mine, okay? And if I wanted to show easily here, one group, okay, there it is. Okay, and then you can go so on. 2, whoops. Hang on, friends, sorry. There's my 3 groups, okay? And then so on until we get 1 group, 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups, 5 groups, 6 groups. So did you guys make 6 equal groups of 2 like I did? I hope so. Okay, if you did, great job, friends. So now let's talk about how we can write an addition sentence to show these groups. So what I want you to do is I want you to take it on your whiteboard. I want you to try and write a repeated addition. So remember, it could be like 2 plus 2 plus 2, and so on until you model all of the groups that you have. Okay, so go ahead and write that on your board, and then I'll share with you what I came up with for my equal groups, or my repeated addition sentence that matches my equal groups of 2. Okay, if you need more time, pause the video. If you're ready, then here we go. Let's check it out. My repeated addition sentence would look like this. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 12. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 2's because remember, we said that there was 6 equal groups of 2. Okay, now I want to think about in unit form, what does this look like? So remember, unit form is just a fancy way of saying that we have the same number of groups. So how many groups do we have of 2? We have 6 2's. That's my unit form. So I have 6 2's equals 12. So there's a 2. Oops, let me get my magic pen back. There's a group, 1 group of 2, 2 groups, 3 groups of 2, 4 groups of 2, 5 groups of 2, and 6 groups of 2. Okay? Now, I want to think about how I can write this a different way because I know that I can always use my repeated addition that's up here, right? But maybe a way that might be a little bit faster and more efficient, which is a quicker way to show that, would be I can use a multiplication sentence to go along with this. So the first number in your multiplication sentence is going to be how many groups there are, okay? So remember, I go back to how many groups? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 groups. And then your second number in your multiplication sentence is going to be how many are in each group. So I know that there were 6 groups, and I know that there are 2 in each group. So that's what I came up with. I know it's going to be that 12. Let's see if it matches what I thought of the first time I was solving this problem. Ta-da! It is. So I have 6 groups of 2, so 6 times 2 equals 12. Okay, so let's take a look at our third problem. Our third problem talks about writing multiplication sentences from equal groups. So remember, equal groups have to have the same number in each group. Okay, so take a look at the picture that I have on the screen. I want you to think about, are these groups equal? Think about if they are or if they're not, and explain why. Just a quick thought in your mind. Yeah, these are equal because I have 4 in this first group. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second group. So they're both equal because they have the same number in both groups. So what I would like for you to do now is I would like for you to write a repeated addition sentence on your dry erase board or your whiteboard. And then I would also like you to try and write a multiplication sentence that matches this example right here. So I have 2 groups of 4. So go ahead and try and write in a repeated addition sentence and a multiplication sentence that matches. Once you've done that, go ahead and click play, and then we'll talk about it together. Okay, so when I look at this, the repeated addition sentence I would have would be 4 plus 4 equals 8, because both groups have 4 in them, and then 4 plus 4 equals 8. Okay. The next thing I would do is I want to write my multiplication sentence to go along with this. So remember we talked about that first number in the multiplication sentence is going to be how many groups there are. So if I look, I see 1 group and 2 groups. The second number in your multiplication problem is going to be how many are in each group. So I know that from the first time I counted there was 4 in each group. So I have 2 groups and there's 4 in each group. And if I counted all of those, it gives me 8. Okay, so that's your multiplication sentence. Did our repeated addition sentence and multiplication sentences match? All right, well, rock on, friends. Good job. Okay, so let's take a look at another example. Okay, friends, so let's take a look at this example. So for problem 3, for this next part, it's talking again about writing a multiplication sentence from equal groups. So what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to examine what I have written as my multiplication sentence for this problem. So I have my picture, as you guys can see, and my multiplication sentence that I think matches this problem is 3 times 4 equals 12. What I would like for you to do is I would like for you to look at the picture and analyze it and say, does Mrs. Walker's multiplication sentence match the picture? If it does, awesome, pat on the back to me. If it doesn't, uh-oh, I need your help to help me fix it. So go ahead, take a look at that problem or at the picture. Then I would like for you to write a repeated addition sentence and the multiplication sentence that matches this picture. So go ahead and use your dry erase board and give that a try. Once you're ready, or actually pause the video, then once you're ready and you've written down your repeated addition sentence and your multiplication sentence, go ahead and click play so we can talk about it. Okay, if you're ready, here we go. So when I look at this problem, the first thing I want to do is I want to analyze each picture to make sure that they're the same. Because when we use multiplication, remember, you have to have equal groups. It has to be the same number in each group to be able to multiply. So let's go through and just double check this real quick. Okay, so let me grab my pen. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Ruh-roh! Oh, goodness, friends. I don't think I can do this with multiplication because my groups are not equal. I have 2 groups of 4 and 1 group of 3. It's just not going to work because my multiplication sentence for this problem would end up looking like, sorry, friends, I have it hidden here, like this. 4 plus 4 plus 3 equals 11. Well, that doesn't match my problem here of 3 groups with 4 in each group. Wah, wah, wah. So it doesn't match. But it's okay, because what I would do to solve this problem is instead of using multiplication, you gotta get that guy out of there, I would just have to stick with simple addition for this problem. Okay, so if you caught my mistake and you said, Mrs. Walker, there's no way you can do multiplication, and your multiplication sentence of 3 times 4 equals 12 doesn't match because I'm missing an extra circle right here, then you're correct. You got it. Okay? Good job, friends. So now that we've practiced talking about how to use repeated addition to match our pictures, to talk about how we can turn that repeated addition in those pictures into a multiplication sentence, I think you guys are ready to move on to the next step. So please go back to the module and check out what activity and assignment you're supposed to do for today. Please let me know if you guys have any questions. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, friends.